What's up, everybody? This is Mr. T's 10-minute tips for teachers, specifically on recording effective video, something that we need to learn how to do very quickly and efficiently now that we're thrown into these crazy times. So let's take a look at what we're trying to accomplish here. Okay, first, the goal of something like this is that, yes, you can put together a video just like this that takes less than an hour and a half. You can do it with some practice, and the point of these videos is to have a quick turnaround. It's okay to be a little bit imperfect, but we got to make sure that we're doing it to the best of our ability. Okay. Also, these videos, just like the videos you provide for your students, should be specific, tangible, and easily applied info. Right? Patience is a virtue, but it's certainly not one that I have for YouTube trying to find content. All right. You should be able to make your own content in a very short time frame that looks professional, sounds professional, and is something that will be taken seriously. Which is really the reason why we need to learn how to do something like this. More importantly than ever, media making is the new norm, as is self-videography. Okay, we see it on social media, Instagram, TikTok, whatever. Everyone's recording themselves. Okay, but so many people are doing it ineffectively. All right, and one of the things that makes it ineffective is how it looks and how it sounds. And a lot of the time, how it looks and how it sounds equals competency and effectiveness of the video. If you can't make an effective video, people aren't going to watch it. And part of that, the reason that you're able to, is because of how it looks and sounds, which is something that we're going to be talking about right now. Okay. Also, auto controls do not mean correct controls, meaning that you should have some sense of how this is all going to work for you. Okay. Remember, YouTube blogging is the #1 career choice of preference for high school students. So it's something that's here to stay. Right. In this particular video, we're going to focus on the fact that you're probably recording on your phone or on your computer. We're not talking about DSLR cameras or any kind of fancy things. These are things that we have access to, that we're going to be recording on video daily. So we're going to use the stuff that we have access to daily. Right. So what do I need to think about when shooting a video? We're going to boil it down to a couple specific points that we're going to go through right now. Okay. First, you need to think about your distance to the camera and how you frame yourself. There's a lot more subtleties there than you possibly could have thought about, and it really is actually very important, as is managing the light for your shots. Computers and phones do this pretty well, but there's some instances where you need to pay attention to when you're recording video. And most importantly, recording sound, something that is really taken for granted, that we're going to talk a little bit more as we get further into this presentation. Okay. First, recording self-video. All right. I can't stress the importance of the medium shot, especially in remote interaction. It's the conversation shot. It's modeled after the distance that we talk to each other on a daily basis. All right. Many people, especially novice videographers, shoot themselves too wide or too far away. If you are performing or doing something too far away from the camera, it loses interest. All right. You'll probably see this in a lot of videos that you watch. All right. You got to make sure that you're close enough to the camera. Now, this won't probably be a problem when you're on a computer because your natural keyboard distance away. However, if you're shooting on your phone or something, you have to be very close because they shoot particularly wide. In this instance, you can see it right here. Okay. Yes, actually this close to the camera. This is a medium shot for an iPhone. To be able to be this close to the camera, you have to be a lot closer than you think. And it applies for everything. One of the things I always use for telling my video students is you have to go in and get the shot, okay? Wide doesn't work for remote interactivity, all right? You got to make sure that you're close enough, okay? And make sure that you're using your bars here as well, if you can frame yourself appropriately, making sure you're not giving yourself too much headroom or other things in the frame. Also pay attention to leave some distance, okay? Make sure that you provide some background here, all right? And so that you're not shooting against a flat wall, which can also make things look a little funky. Okay. Next thing, you need to manage your light, okay? It's something that you probably don't think about a whole lot, but you really got to think about it in this instance. First, where are the windows, okay? They better not be behind you, because what's going to happen is you're going to end up with an image just like this, all right? Something we take for granted a lot of time, but you should pay attention to the light in the room that you're shooting, okay? Where are the current lights? They should be highlighting my face in any instance, okay? I even had to pay attention to these lights above me that are bouncing off my bald head, all right? If you're going to look good on video, you got to make sure that you're paying attention to the lighting arrangement of the room. And do you need more light? You probably do, especially if you're shooting in a dimly lit classroom or dimly lit home. It could be as simple as buying some additional light or just rearranging the lamps that you have access to, but you got to make sure that you have enough. Okay. Do I need less? Probably not. The sensors in these phones and cameras, phones and computers rather, are very small usually, and they don't provide access to a lot of light. So it's just something we're going to talk about in a second. Okay. And can I should adjust the light manual on my phone? absolutely, when you click and you hold, you can drag that little sundial up on your iPhone if that's something that you're using, and you can manage the light from there, okay? But we should also have some basic understanding of how these work, okay? So how does my phone or computer automatically adjust for enough light? What are the effects of this, and what can I do to get a really clean, well-lit image, okay? First, your device adjusts its ISO or artificial light sensor up or down to allow for the adequate amount of light, okay? In this instance, you can see that the higher the ISO, there's also a loss of image quality. In other words, it starts to create some grain, all right? It starts to make the image look a little flat. So you want to be able to shoot with the most amount of light you have access to. It's the same reason that when you take a selfie at night, it's usually not as good as the one you'll take during the day. It's also the same reason that you can shoot beautiful sunsets, but you can really shoot poor skies and dimly lit nights, all right? The natural light that you have access to is always going to make your videography and photography look a lot better. Okay? Let's talk about sound real quick, which is probably the most important thing. You can quote me on this. People can forgive visual mistakes and imperfections, just like the slide I had with the little text off to the side, okay? But they don't forgive bad sound, okay? If there's crinkling, crackling, talking in the back, people aren't going to take it seriously, and they're not going to take you seriously. So you got to make sure that you're taking every precaution you can to record good sound. Think South Park. South Park has, not the greatest animation, but there's no sound issues, so you should be fine, okay? So what types of sound, okay? And what are you using for your voice recording? A lot of the time, it's not your fault that it's bad sound, because let's be honest, the phones that we talk into and the computers we're using use something called omni sound. They take sound from all around the room. It's not something that's directional, like a shotgun mic here, which is pointed at you. However, the absolute best thing you can get to self-record videos is something called a lav microphone or lavalier mic. It clips here, just like the one I have on my shirt, all right? And it really increases the sound quality. If you take out the mic and you try recording it back and forth, you'll notice the clear difference. This is especially helpful if you have families and kids and dogs and whatever in the background. Get yourself a lav mic for $5 or $10 online, which I'll show you in a second, and it will really increase the quality of your videos. You don't need any of these crazy accessories that are shown here to up your game. You really can benefit from something like a tripod, a cell phone clip, and a light. I have a little setup like that right here. You can look in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, where it's just a little tripod that's set up that sits on my desk, and I can use it to record or to show lessons or show demonstrations. It's something that you can really benefit from, okay? I actually have a whole list of primary accessories for your video and sound that's linked below of this video. They're all tiny URLs that were created from Amazon links, and everything on there is roughly $20 or less. So it's something that you can, out of pocket, generally spend and really increase your production capacity as a self-videographer, okay? All right, once I record it though, what do I do with it? What software is out there for me to record and to share it, all right? There's all kinds of stuff out there, but one of the things I always like to do is focus on some specifics, okay? There's a lot of ways, but I argue that these are probably the easiest. Use the built-in app on your phone, record direct to YouTube, the YouTube app, or directly to YouTube from your computer, or screencast. Those are by far the best ways to quickly get video online, okay? And to store those videos, store it on YouTube and store it on Google Drive. Those are the ways to think about it, okay? For screencasting, which is something I'm doing right now, you can actually get a screencast on your computer or Chromebook through what they call a Chrome extension. If you actually look on my screen right here, this is where you can store extensions, okay? For example, in this case, this is the Screencastify extension that you can use. And in this sense, I'm using something different called Screencast-O-Matic, but there's a lot of screencasting options for you, and it's something that you can actually do relatively easy with a little bit of practice. So it's a great way to record, store it on the cloud, and work off of there, okay? So if you're recording on your phone though, all right, you need to be able to get it to Google Drive, all right? And one of the things that you can do here is you can actually select your recordings in your phone, and you need to make sure that you have the Google Drive app. Once you have that Google Drive app, all right, you can choose where you want to upload it to and create folders and add all your media to it. Once you record, get your stuff online, all right? That's such a hugely important thing to do, because from there you can share it out and do all the things you can with your options here like this, okay? The other great option is just recording directly to YouTube, which then will turn it into a link that you can share, link to your Google Classrooms, and whatever have you, okay? That's pretty much it for me this time around, all right? You can check me out on Twitter and Instagram and my personal website. Be happy to help you out with some other tips if you hit me up. And this is Mr. T's Tips in 10 minutes. Thanks. Bye.